Live, and we are now horizontal. That is probably because, yes, last week, because of a YouTube update, normally it would just like snap automatically to your phone, but now they're demanding it as a feature that you've got to click. So that is incredibly annoying, but oh well, never mind. Back to holding this a lot easier. A lot easier than yesterday. But good morning to you all, and welcome to another fantastic morning walk. Like I say, he's a bit murky, as you can see. Lee Cruz, good morning to you. Mark R, sorry, good morning to you. Good morning. And of course, for those of you here for the ponies this morning, you've got plenty of pony action already this morning. I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty more of them as we walk around the field, as always. Leah, good morning to you. Dave W, yep, good morning to you. Early morning pony? Yep, nothing quite like an early morning pony. But yes, good morning to everyone joining us this fine day. It's a bit murky, but it's all right. Ben Ridings, good morning all. Good morning to you. You're still testing positive for COVID since last Saturday, so you're staying safe. Yes, indeed. That's very worth reminding, actually. Oh, just as the train goes past, we'll be talking a lot about them today. Still very much worth reminding people. COVID is still a thing. So please do be careful. And if you do think you do have it and you've got to go out somewhere, please do remember to wear your mask. Because yes, that will definitely help other people stopping getting it. But as always, who else have we missed? But I do hope you get better, Ben, though. Jade Lockwood, good morning to you. Larry the Cat, good morning to you. Kath OG, good morning to you. Ben Ridings, yep, stay safe. Yep, you too, and get better. But yes, good morning, everyone. I was on. It's always so weird. Oh, Mike, good morning to you. It was so weird last night because obviously we have like a pre-gathering. Pretty Bird, good morning to you, and good morning to everyone else joining the stream as well. If I miss you or anything like that, like I say, good morning. Please do remember to click on the like and share button. Like I say, it helps get more people in, and of course, the more people in, the better we are. Lee Cruz, are we discussing Rishi Sunak's HS2 land fire sale? Yes, we will be discussing that. Because before we went live yesterday on the Labour Social, we have like a pre-gathering. I think me and Phil, we were just so livid. And Graham was like, save it when we go live, guys. Save it for when we go live. Save it for when we go live. But it's not getting this vital transport network is such a disappointment. It's such a lack of ambition, of drive, of even a guy who says he wants to grow the country. He's not going to do or anything invest in HS2, which would achieve that growth that he wanted. And yes, HS2, expensive. But the thing is, as we've said all the time, once you've built it, it then pays for itself. And you get other massive economic benefits. Rishi Sunak said that it was, quote, the easiest decision he's ever made. And you're like, no, the easiest decision would be to keep it. Leah Trues, the Tories trying to make it impossible for future governments to complete HS2. Yep. Nope, hang on. We've got a doggo joining us. Where are you? Hang on. Where is he? No, there he is. Got a doggo joining us. But yes, definitely trying to make it impossible. Well, not impossible, just a lot harder, incredibly harder for a future government to build HS2. And I think we've got to go over what happened and the build up to this, because then it'll explain it more, because it'll catch up other people who haven't yet seen this, and they'll all be on the same page, and we'll all get to it. Oh. You can also see cows in the morning as well. Yep, Xavier, public inquiries, yep. Oh, there absolutely desperately needs to be a public inquiry about this. But we'll see what happens. So where were we? Yeah, so we'll start pre-conference of what was happening. So pre-conference, the Tories were still very, very much on board for HS2. There was like a very small smattering of them that were like, oh, this project's going out of control. We need to rein in spending. But no one was specifically talking about cancelling HS2. Like, no one was specifically talking about cancelling it. And one of the rumours is, and we still don't know how true this is, what's that? Jason J. You live near the Leamside line in Durham, that they touted reopening with HS2 funds and then cancelled the very next day. It's if they just get a kick out of stuffing the north. Well, exactly. Yeah, most of this new transport stuff that was planned, if you actually look at the map, it's not even affecting the north. It's mostly concentrating on the Midlands, most of this stuff. So it's like, do they even know where the north is? Oh, but how should we call this? Sabotage. Yeah, it's exactly what he's tried to do. So no one pre-conference was going in calling for an end, like to cancel HS2. It was just, oh, we need to rein spending, we need to like bring it under control, but no one was talking about cancelling it. And one of the rumours is, and we don't know how true this is or not, but it turns out maybe our good friend Dominic Cummings, in what may seem to be Rishi Sunak's pure desperation in order to try and, as we said, lose goodly the next general election, has been supposedly talking to Dominic Cummings. Supposedly. We don't have a full confirmation of this. We do not have full confirmation of that, whether that was happened. Yeah, lose bigly. Yeah, he's either going to lose bigly or he's going to win, or he's going to lose, or lose smallly. That's it. The true Yorkshireisms. And apparently this whole cancelling of HS2 is his idea, or at least one of the many ideas that that he has touted to Rishi Sunak. So we still don't know how true that is, but that is one of the rumours that is going around. And if Dominic Cummings, if they have been so desperate as to reach for Dominic Cummings. Losing bigly. channeling the Donald Trump. Very true. If they are so desperate as to reach for Dominic Cummings, then it just goes to show you how desperate the Tory party has become. Mike, mixed messages from Rayner this morning saying that the Tories should continue HS2, but seems Labour not committing to doing it. We'll get on to this. Because once you know the full story, Labour is in a bit of a quandary about it. And I'll explain why in a moment. So, we'll put a pin in your comment for the moment and we'll come back to it later, Mike. And of course, they go into the conference and it hangs over the whole thing. It, as we said, it derails, it derails the entire conference. And no one knows if there is going to be a definitive answer. Lots of Tories then start coming out of the woodwork. John Redwood, in particular, comes out and writes a piece about how there never was a business case for HS2. And you're like, there have been 5 written business cases for HS2. And yet he doesn't seem to have read a single one of them. But never mind. And then, of course, we find out through the grapevine that yes, HS2 is meant to be being cancelled, but they're still holding back. We find out that the Prime Minister had a pre-recorded speech announcing the cancellation of HS2. And then, of course, Rishi Sunak gives his big speech that, you know, he's cancelling it, and that, you know, instead all this money is going to be given to all these other transport, infrastructure projects, all these smaller infrastructure projects that can be built relatively quickly and cheaply as possible. Meanwhile, as I've said many times since this announcement, all these other infrastructure projects can be built simultaneously while you are still building HS2. Just because you are building HS2 does not mean that you can cancel, doesn't mean you should just cancel it to fund all these other projects. But we finally get that. And then, almost immediately the following morning, we also find out that Rishi Sunak has then lifted the safeguarding of the land which the government bought for building HS2, which effectively means that the government now has all this land it can sell. And there are 2 big questions around that we still need to find out. First of all, whether Rishi Sunak can actually just announce that. There's a lot of people saying he can, a lot of other people saying that he can't without parliamentary approval. So I suppose we'll find out in a couple of weeks whether that turns out to be the case or not. Kroban, good morning to you from Thailand. Good morning to you. So we'll find out, I suppose, in the coming weeks whether Rishi Sunak can or can't do that. And partly, I think, a lot of the response to this and a lot of the scrambled, confused response to this is because this has come out of nowhere. And that's why Labour at the moment can't say, yes, we will commit to building HS2, because they don't know if they can build HS2 because of the lifting of these safeguards. And that's why they are at the moment at the point of, we don't know what we can do about it, because this has come completely out of the blue. So part of this is essentially trying to find out, can they build this or not? Can they respond to sort of Rishi Sunak, and how can they respond to what is essentially probably one of the biggest acts of spite there has ever been? Loki's children. Sunak is acting like a dictator. He's had no mandate or backing of the people of Parliament. Exactly, and this is what a lot of people are saying. That in reality, Sunak should not be able to do this, because this, the building of HS2 has been a core promise of the Conservatives going all the way back to David Cameron. It was even in the 2019 manifesto. Oh, bad joke there. That's a very bad joke. Good one. Good one, 24/7. Oh yes, and good morning, Bowler Hat. Good morning, Loki's children. Maybe we should just invest in towboats instead. that might be. Yeah, the boats are just too modern. And yeah, I think a lot of people, to be honest, because the business case for HS2 is there, the economic case for HS2 is there, the massive benefits it would bring to the cities and to the regions it would bring there. This frees up capacity on the normal lines so you can run more slow and like inter-regional trains. It has all these benefits and was one of the biggest investments in rail infrastructure, and that they didn't do it. They didn't pursue this. And the Red Wall MPs, they've been particularly silent about this. They have been especially silent. They have been especially silent about this. Good morning, Maggie Pie. Oh yes, we are coming up to the Barnsley Triangle. So if we do lose connection, like I say, stay tuned. We will rejoin. Isn't there a petition for calling for a general election? There is. There is. It has gathered pace incredibly quickly. Oh, we're back. I think back. Has the Barnsley Triangle succeeded? Or are we back? I'm not 100% sure. We'll wait a couple of moments before we are confirm. But we should be back, I believe. But we should be back. Bakura, welcome. I'm back. Excellent. Bakura, what did you miss? Well, you've just missed the Barnsley Triangle. We're back. Excellent. Good. So yeah, so where are we? That's it. Yeah, the response from this. Yeah, this is why a lot of people are so bamboozled by this, because of all the massive benefits building HS2 would bring. And yet Sunak and the Tories go on constantly about, we want to go for growth, we want to do this, we want to do that. And yet building HS2 would give you that. And yet they clearly don't. I'm not chuffed with these train checks. Oh, groan. Yeah, exactly, Xavier. It does just go to show a lack of ambition in this government. A complete lack of ambition. In fact, there was someone on Question Time who was like, oh, I'm so glad that they've finally cancelled HS2. You know, it was this, we've got to get away from this London-centric nature and spread transport about. And you're like, HS2 was not London-centric. HS2 was connecting Birmingham to Manchester. And it was freeing up the main train lines. So this is one of the things that I've constantly seen throughout all this, because there are always going to be, you know, anti-HS2 people for one way or another saying, oh, it's destroying the environment. It really wasn't. HS2 a long time ago had signed a pledge to rewild, and for every tree that they had to cut down, or that they could, you know, they'd replant a new one, or if they could move trees, they would move the trees. They'd signed these huge pledges to make HS2, at least the construction of it, as green as they possibly could. So it's just such a lost opportunity in doing this. Why are you not wearing a bowler hat? Well, I do have it, but it's gotten very old now, unfortunately, my bowler hat. I probably do need to buy a new one at some point. Patrick H, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone else, by the way, who I might have missed. Maggie Pie, the Tories have too much financial interest in the oil industry. Should have done the Leeds, Manchester and Birmingham connections first. HS2 is a perfect addition to the 30,000 million polling funds given to the mandates from donors, probably. The petition is only that they might discuss it, not mandatory, so that's a no. Well, put it this way. Rishi Sunak came out and said, oh, people don't want a general election now. Here's this massive petition, and the more people that sign it proves Rishi Sunak wrong. So do sign it. Do sign it. You know, it takes less than 2 minutes. So I do encourage you, go and sign that petition. Where's the petition? It is. It's on the government petition website. You should be able to find it. If not, you should be able to find it on Twitter. Relatively easy. If you follow Carol Vorderman, I know she's put it out. She's retweeted it. But it should be very easy to find if you can, if you search for it, especially on the government petition website. You should be able to find it. Like I say, it'll be the one with the highest number. And if someone does go and sign it, please do inform us what the current number is at of it. Crowburn, have you mentioned that Old Oak Common to Euston depends on private money? Oh, that I know was a big conversation in the lead up to this. Yeah, 906,000 people. So yeah, like I say, do go sign that petition. Prove Rishi Sunak's wrong on this. Yeah, Bakura. Oh yeah, again, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's funny how London gets Crossrail and other big infrastructure projects completed despite the cost, but it goes outside the M25, then is a price limit. Exactly. This is the big thing that has always been, now just, you know, not. You know, now not building this. And like I say, if we can get the Tories out, if this petition succeeds, and we can have an even earlier general election, and like say this forces Rishi Sunak into a position where he's like, oh yeah, okay, people want rid of us, then, well, we might have an early general election. But a lot of people are saying, though, next May is where the next general election might be. And good, I can see people going to sign the petition. Like I say, good. Like I say, once you've signed it, please do remember to retweet it, reshare it to everyone that you know. Like I say, the more people that sign it, the better. Yeah, the Tories have been committing electoral suicide, yeah. It's just this cancelling it alone has destroyed like their chances in the Red Wall, completely destroyed their chances. Because I told you about, before this conference started, that there were two competing manifestos being launched. One being launched by Priti Patel's new conservative faction and their crazy demands that they wanted. But then there was also one being launched by the Red Wall MPs about what they wanted. And what's one of the things they highlight in that manifesto? Build pay. So they're not going to be very happy at all. They are not going to be very happy at all. And to be honest, you have seen very little in action and a lot of infighting between them. You've had some go, oh, well, we're pleased, you know, or at least disappointed in the cancelling of HS2. We are pleased to see the announcement of those other you know, we are pleased to see the you know, the announcement of the funding of the all this, you know, HS2 money going to, quote, northern cities. Meanwhile, the vast majority of it, from what we can see, hasn't gone to northern cities. It's gone to the Midlands. If you look at the map. So it's become one of those. It's honestly, it'll be interesting to see what they do, because you have seen some of them that have come out and said this is a huge, colossal mistake. How can they do this? And it's just like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do now? That was one of your big central campaign promises, to help, you know, level up the north, etc., etc. And yeah. Hang on. I'm just getting rid of some of this excess mud on my shoes. There we go. But yeah, well and truly ridiculous, to be honest. Well and truly ridiculous. You could make this entire thing just a central point of a general election campaign, just to show how bad the Tories are. and just focus that entire campaign on the north for all the northern seats, and you could probably win all these northern seats in a complete clean sweep. Mackie Pie, how does one party have two competing manifestos ahead in an election? Pure party complete breakdown in discipline and different competing factions. That's how you get two competing manifestos before a general election. Do I live in the north? Yes, I do live in the north. Just north of Sheffield, actually. Again, one of the places that was meant to be getting the northern leg of the HS2 before that was cancelled. And as had been pointed out, if we did get a Labour government, we had a the Shadow Transport Secretary saying that, you know, she was going to reaffirm that and rebuild that section. So we would have got that. But I think we need to get onto Labour's response, because a lot of people have said, you know, Labour's response is a bit confused. And yeah, I agree. I agree it's been a bit confused. But before we do get onto that, please do remember to click on the like and share button, everyone. That will help. Like I say, that will help support the stream and get more people in. So please do remember to click on the like button and share button as well. So thank you very much to everyone who's done that already. But yes, thank you very much. This took everyone by surprise. Like, this literally came at the very last moment, out of nowhere, and what seems to have been a very, very last-minute decision to do all this. And then, of course, the lifting of the, like I say, of the safeguarding. We still don't know 100% if Rishi Sunak can do that or not. You know, we just need to find out what's going on with that, but we'll see what happens. But Labour's response is pretty much confused, because it can't commit to saying, yes, we're going to build HS2, because it still doesn't know at the moment whether it will have access to that land. There's a lot of people said that there's a lot of people have said, oh, this is going to be, you know, a back to the drawing board type situation. So we've got to spend years now potentially trying to replan the route, rebuy all the land again. And meanwhile, of course, what will the Tories do during that time? Oh, you're wasting all this public money on a quote-unquote vanity project. It's not a vanity project. It's a vital, much-needed piece of infrastructure that you guys refused to build during its time. And meanwhile, there will be a high-speed network to Birmingham, to London, but the problem is it has been reduced to a shuttle service. It's not going to have the capacity to run a proper service because it has been scaled back again. Fantastic, guys. You know, the part that you did actually build, you haven't properly committed to fully funding it. It's Patrick H, I think he needs a vote in Parliament if he wants to cancel HS2. I think they need to vote to give it a go-ahead. Well, that's what a lot of people are saying now. They don't know sort of what this means. So I'd be very interested to see what Labour has to say during the conference about HS2. But to be honest, I don't know what you can do about it at this point. I don't know if you need to have a vote in Parliament or not about it. We don't even know if Rishi Sunak can just unilaterally decide to lift all the safeguarding of the land that was going to be used to build HS2. We don't know. There's a lot of, unfortunately, unanswered questions because all this announcement just reeks of a complete last-minute decision. You know, you had the Department for Transport Minister just a couple of days before the conference talking up HS2, how good it was going to be and that they were going to build it and that they were committing to building it. And now not. It is going to be, to be honest, it's a massive disappointment to everyone in the north. It really is, but we shouldn't be surprised. They've done this every single time. Every single time they've promised to, oh yes, we're going to help the north, we're going to level it up, we're going to, unleash the northern powerhouse, going all the way back to the days of David Cameron, and of course, they've never done it. And one of the things that I would love Labour to put forward is a proper integrated transport strategy for England. Because the Tories were just building HS2. Maggie Pie. Boris used HS2 in 2019 to blame the EU for holding it back. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if Boris Johnson writes a nice piece in the Daily Mail, or should we say get someone else to write it, as the rumours might be. Yep, exactly, Ben. That has big questions within itself. Yeah, made us look like fools internationally. Who will invest in the UK if they can't? Who will invest in the UK if they can't finish a project? Exactly. And the thing is, there's a lot of people have said, there was a guy on Sky News, and he's like, well, hold on, this cost doesn't matter. As I've said before, HS2 is a one-off cost and it pays for itself every year. We should be having not only just HS2, but HS3 and 4. This type of transport infrastructure, when you build it, it pays for itself. If you know anything about the Supertram fiasco in Sheffield, back when they were building the Supertram, now everyone in Sheffield loves the Supertram, but that wasn't always the case when it was being built. And the massive ambitions that they had for Supertram in the beginning got massively scaled back because everyone went, oh no, we hate the idea of this Supertram now, and now everyone loves the Supertram. They know how good it is, how much income it brings sort of the city, and how much it has paid for itself over these years. It's the exact same story with HS2. If we had built HS2, if we got it running, everyone would be like, oh my god, we love HS2. And meanwhile, you've got, Leeds is going to get its own tram network. Well, congratulations, you could have built HS2. You could have built HS2 and given Leeds a tram network in the first place. Yeah, well, that to be honest, I think is the only good announcement, that fares will continue to be capped at £2. I think out of all those following the announcements of cancelling HS2, the idea that is going to be kept is really good, but it also goes to show you the ridiculousness of one of the arguments about cancelling HS2. That, everyone works from home now. But the Tories have been one of the biggest parties saying, no, you should get back into the office, get back to work. Meanwhile, if everyone is working from home, why cap fares for local transport? Oh, is it because it's proved to be a wildly popular policy decision? Yeah, I wonder which one they've gone with. Yeah, I wonder which one they've gone with. Oh, what else was I going to talk about now? There's something else in the back of this I was going to talk about. What we're talking about, HS2, trams, integrated rail plan for UK. It'll come back to me. it'll come back to me, it always does. Yeah, it's just a massive disappointment. It really is. Yeah, Lee Cruz, the Andy Burnham special copied by the Tories. Exactly. The HS2 line should end up in Inverness and Aberdeen by Glasgow and Edinburgh. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Penny Mordaunt's speech, stand up and farts. Yeah, with our velveteen socialist gloves. Little do they know, my gloves are made of the finest velour. Are Labour going to go to town on the Tories at the conference? Sure, hope so. Yeah, I do hope so as well. Yeah, and many of those projects that they've announced are either A, already built in some places, or being built. So it's not like it's a big transport buff. It's the same thing they use every single time. The whole magic money shifting that they do every time with other pots of money for funding. Oh yes, we've got all these new funding things. You know, and it's not new money. It's money from another cancelled project that's just been renamed to something else. Yeah, fantastic move there, guys. Fantastic move. But the other thing I was going to talk about, that's it, the Greens, because the Greens start their conference today. Oh boy, is HS2 going to cause that party to split? Because there is a movement called Greens for HS2. And they get it, they understand, you know, the need for HS2. They get it, they understand all these arguments, and they're going to the conference this week to say, look, we need to vote for HS2, we need to commit to HS2. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens to them. You know, Anne-Marie Trevelyan pushed for, yeah, well, that's it. Those the enlargements of I think it's what, the A1, A2 and 3. They've been needing updating for so long. Yet again, another bit of vital transport network that hasn't been touched for years because of, well, again, Tory meddling. But yeah, it's going to be interesting watching the it's going to be interesting to watch the the Greens tear themselves apart over this over the HS2, because they're always like, oh yes, we need to invest in our railways, we need to, you know, get railways running. But then why don't you like HS2? HS2 is the biggest rail investment in the UK ever and will bring massive benefits. You'd think the Greens would love, but no, they're just dead set against it for some bizarre reason. And mostly it's because they are repeating outright lies. They lie that you know, HS2 is all about getting to London faster. Well, yes, it does get you to London faster, but that's not the point. It's to bring capacity to the other lines so you can have more trains running on them. I've seen one of the funniest arguments, and you'll get a kick out of this, I can promise you that. One of the funny arguments that I've seen is that HS2 goes too fast. That is a serious argument that the Greens have. HS2 goes too fast. And I'm not joking about that. That is a serious argument they have. HS2 goes too fast that it will fly off the lines. Meanwhile, the Shinkansen in Japan travels at that speed and somehow manages to stay on the lines without it flying off. All these other high-speed rail lines traveling at that speed somehow managed to stay on the line without magically taking off into the air. I have to laugh at them because this is how ridiculous their arguments are when you look into them. But yeah, it goes too fast. Why is that a problem? Exactly. Oh. But yeah, the Greens are going to be interesting to watch this weekend to see how that descends, because you've not only got the Greens for HS2, but you've also got the anti HS2 movement going to the Greens conference, which will be fun. That's going to be so fun. Morning. But that is going to be so fun to watch. That is going to be so fun to watch, because they are going to just fight each other and there'll be a massive vote about it, and I don't know which way the vote will go, but it's a big opportunity for them to go, hey, why not come join, the Labour Party? With the fact that you've got Ed Miliband talking about all the green industry, green energy projects that he wants to create. Just a thought, guys. Maybe the Green Party isn't as good as it always claims to be. Oh. But we are coming to the end of our good morning walk today. And of course, like I say, it's the very first time I've had to put my coat back on this year, but I suspect we'll be wearing it a lot more from now on for the good morning walk, at least until into next year. But yes, please do go sign the petition if you are in the UK. That'll be very helpful. Like I say, go and share that, and of course, as always, do remember to hit the like and share button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Like I say, and welcome to it. There's the links to my Patreon page down below. There's the one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. There's the YouTube thank you button. There's the Pony Club as well you can join. So there they are. Maggie Pie, as a Swede, the HS2 drama is flabbergasting to me. The British were vital for building one of our railways back in the day. Exactly. None of this makes any sense at all, given how desperately in need our rail network is in need of vital infrastructure updates. But like I say, as always, guys and gals, thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute joy as always. I don't know what the weather's going to do today. Don't know if it can make its mind up whether to rain or not. So yeah, have a good one. As always, if you can't be safe, be sensible. Have a fantastic weekend, folks. We'll see you next weekend. Actually, no, I won't be seeing you. Actually, I might be, but I might be in Ireland. I'll see. Because I'm going to be in Galway next weekend. For the JCI Islands conference. I'll be going there to represent the UK, so I'll be having my getting out the chain and representing the UK over there. But as always, have fun. We'll probably see you next weekend. I'll try and do things. Yeah, Bakura, oh God, when you go away, things get interesting. Exactly. Remember, this time last year, the last time I went to Ireland, Liz Truss was Prime Minister. And then when I came back, she wasn't. So, yeah, interesting things always do happen. So who knows? Who knows what might happen? Yeah, it's a snap general election then. Very, very much possibly, Dave W. Very, very, very possible. So, as always, until then, we shall see you next time. And as always, have fun. Please do remember to click on the like and share button on your way out and leave a comment down below. As always, it helps with all the algorithmical stuff, and there's stuff down below in the comments, like the Pony Club, the YouTube thank you button, the Buy Me a Coffee link, and of course the Patreon link as well. So thank you very much to everyone who does help support the channel. Even if you do, just click the like and share button on your way out. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.